Hey, Tears, thanks for stopping by. I want to tell you about a conversation I had last night with my partner, Marsha, and it all ties in with this question: are Jehovah's Witnesses loving people? So I just need to give you a bit of background first. So, as you can probably tell by the way I look at the moment, I'm not feeling too great. I had a really bad migraine last night. It stopped me from sleeping most of the night. I'm not telling you this for sympathy, it is all relevant to the subject of this video. So I'm a lifelong migraine sufferer. I've suffered from migraines ever since earliest childhood. But they started getting really bad when I hit my 30s. I started getting a lot more symptoms. One of those symptoms is that I've been experiencing recently, like in the past for about 5 years or so, is I don't know how to define it, but I get really emotional when I have migraines now. Yeah, I just feel like really like upset, but for no apparent reason, for not over anything in particular. So I've been prescribed this medication for my migraines, and they work in a very similar way to like antidepressants, because sometimes migraines and depression can have a common cause. So they work by readjusting the like a chemical imbalance, and sometimes this chemical imbalance can cause like blood vessels in your brain to constrict, and that's what causes the migraine. So this medication alters that, and the migraine goes away, and they work really well. They work really well, but for about 24 hours after I take them, I'm not really good for anything other than just resting. But they work very quickly. The pain goes away very quickly. Anyway, so that's what was happening last night, and as I said, I was feeling like really upset, but not over anything in particular. And so I took my migraine medication, and the pain started to go away. But then I started thinking back to some experiences that I've had that I can't really go into much detail, but it's all relating to health and sickness and stuff, and how I've been treated in the past when I've been unwell. So I called Marsha. She's in the States at the moment. She actually lives in America. So I called her and just told her what was going on, told her how I was feeling, and I felt compelled to tell her, compelled to thank her. She was like, why are you thanking me? I said, because I said to her that I'll never be able to fully express how grateful I am to her for the way she treats me and the way she deals with me. I'm quite a flawed person. I do have some flaws that I'm working on, but I do have some flaws. But she loves me regardless. And also, as I have a lot of limitations as well. Being raised as a witness, it's like being raised on another planet. Because witnesses are so insular, so isolated from the real world. When you leave that, it's a whole new culture that you have to learn. I remember shortly after I can't even think of the words. Sorry, I'm struggling. But I remember speaking with a friend who's also Pomo. I remember saying to him that I was talking to him about my relationship and how we got together and everything, and I said it's a bit like that scene from the movie Avatar where Jake Sully is like spends his first night in the jungle after being separated from his team, and he's in his alien body, and he has to try and survive in this new, strange, and hostile environment. And then the woman, I can't remember her name, she comes and rescues him, and she says to him, "You're like a baby. You don't know anything. You're like a baby." So I said to my friend, that's how I felt coming into the world. I felt like a baby and I didn't know anything. But Marsha taught me a lot. She really, really taught me a lot. You know. So sometimes I feel really, really limited, like a baby who has to be, taught and instructed on the most basic things that everybody else gets, but we don't get because we were raised on, for all intents and purposes, in a different world. But she loves me despite all of those things, and the amount of compassion and patience she shows me, despite my flaws, despite my limitations, is nothing short of phenomenal. So I felt compelled to tell her that, to thank her for that. So, are Jehovah's Witnesses loving people? No, because their love is conditional. When I was saying all of this to Marsha, to her it was just like, that's basic. She's like, well, I love you. Why wouldn't I do all of those things? You love me, you do them for me. Why wouldn't I do them for you? To her, it's just so simple, but to an ex-JW like myself, it's not, because we're not used to unconditional love. We're not used to it. I certainly am not used to it. Jehovah's Witnesses don't really know what love is. Not really. They think they do, but they don't. I read a statistic recently. I can't remember where I read it, so don't quote me on this 100%. It may have been on jwfacts.com or maybe on one of the YouTube channels videos, JW Facts YouTube channel. But it says something like the divorce rate among Jehovah's Witnesses is higher than the general population in terms of percentages, and I can well believe that, because you go into a marriage knowing that person you're marrying is not the love of your life. Jehovah's supposed to be the love of your life. So right from the start, there's a condition. That's not the best start for a lifelong relationship. Knowing that there's somebody else that you love or are supposed to love more than the person you're actually marrying. I mean, isn't it in the wedding vows to forsake all others? So Jehovah's Witnesses, they think they know what love is, but they really, really don't. And if you're a former Jehovah's Witness who was married to another Jehovah's Witness, but for whatever reason you no longer are, and then you come into a loving relationship with a non-JW, it's a huge revelation. It's a big revelation. It's huge. And that's why I'm so grateful to Marsha. It's like, sorry, I'm always comparing like real life experiences to movies, because my mind is like an encyclopedia for movies and scenes in movies that relate to experiences in real life. So I'm a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there's this scene in the first Captain America movie where he's talking to Dr. Erskine, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. And he said sorry, my brain is a bit frazzled from my medication, but he said something like, um, a weak man knows the value of strength, power, more than somebody who's never been weak. Something like that. I can't remember the exact words. And that's why he chose Steve Rogers to receive the super soldier serum, because Steve Rogers has been weak all his life, so he's going to really appreciate this power and he's not going to abuse it, he's going to value it. Instead of somebody who's like big and strong, it's just going to go to their head and they're going to become a bully. You know, and that's how I feel about the love that my partner shows me. You know, I really, really value it because I've never had it before. You know, I've never been loved unconditionally. I was practically born in. You know, my mum started studying with Jehovah's Witnesses when I was 2 years old. She got baptized when I was 6 years old. So for all intents and purposes, I was born into a religion. All of my friends and my immediate family were Jehovah's Witnesses. So I literally have not known unconditional love. Because love in amongst Jehovah's Witnesses is all based on a condition. You know, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that at a moment's notice, for a reason that seems like a big reason to I don't like using the term religion with Jehovah's Witnesses because they're not really a religion. They're a business masquerading as a religion. But at a moment's notice, for any reason within that organization, everyone you know and love can drop you like that. You know that. Doesn't matter who they are. It could be your friends, your parents, your children. They will drop you in an instant. You know. So how can you feel love in the truest sense if you know that that is true? Yeah. Anyway, so it's just something that, happened last night, and I just wanted to speak about it. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.